faces, and they all had red hair and freckles. We would spot them a mile away, and it came from Ireland. And they wasn't finna help them. They wasn't finna help them do nothing without Big Mama permission. Now we call them hillbillies and poor white trash, but they the ones gave us snipers in the armed forces, right? Because they took what they learned from the tribes on how to hunt when the firearm came and begin to use it the same way, but with a further reach. Ain't all of this is warfare. White supremacy is a war strategy. It's a war call and a war strategy. White has nothing to do with skin color. That's the description of the families of the royal houses. They used to wear only white. Mm-hmm. But when they got infiltrated, the Phoenicians began to convince them of the purple and the red garments. And then they settled into Europe. And then they came in as Ottomans, and they came in as the Etruscans and settled Italy. And now we thinking that the paleface, it wasn't them. The white man ain't white. He just used to wear white clothes. Jefe Blanco. Mm-hmm. They still do it in Mexico. You go around there, you want to know who the big dude is? KS Jefe Blanco. Where he at? They know Jefe Blanco mean the boss because he wear the white suit. They did it in Dukes of Hazzard with Boss Hogg. And they keep making mockery of our ignorance by putting it in movies like the Dukes of Hazzard, putting Boss Hogg in the white suit as the mayor. We know that the mayor is the town mother. So when they put Jefe Blanco there, we know what they're saying. We said we knocked your queen. But she ain't the queen. She's just the mayor of her flock. But we got a big queen, right? They call her the Queen Bee. Her color's black and gold. She run the money. We don't know this, though, because we forget our culture. And then when we start explaining the culture back to those that's been socially indoctrinated and institutionalized with this police state, they believe the narrative that was given in order to separate us from the land and rewrote the history. And this is also part of the paper genocide. When you take the history that was there and then you bend it and you put your name where our name go, and you put somebody else's name where the other person's name go, but you still telling the same story, somebody gonna figure out your lie.
You know,
and that's paper genocide.
You know, you mentioned you mentioned the Seminoles several times. What can you tell us about John Horse? That's a name that we hear a lot. What could you tell us about that brother right there?
He was probably one of the other chiefs down there. But when I study the Seminole Wars, I don't remember all of the names of the most important people because I'm trying to see the event. And the names, a lot of times, I can't go in detail on some of them, especially the ones that was helped. The ones that was hurting us, I could probably run their whole history down. But some of the ones that I already know, well, he harmless, he one of us, he ain't doing, I won't remember his whole backstory. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? But when the time comes, I could tell you when you search the Gullah Wars, and the Seminole Wars is how the Spanish saw the war. They called it the War of the Seminoles. Mm-hmm. Right? Some people say Cimarron, but that's not, it was Seminoles, the half-breeds. And the people from the land call it the Gullah Wars because we was called to fight the wars, the Gullah Wars, by Gullah Geechee Big Mama. And I read that by reading the migration patterns of the people across the land. And then I know when I see a certain amount of tribes deliberately displaced themselves from their homeland, we don't leave our home territories unless we fight in a war. So when I'm looking back at all of these people was conversion between Louisiana, in South Carolina, because they big mamas used to interact. Our big mamas, we dealt with the Central American islands, Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, St. Croix, all of those islands. Our big mamas was due to caretaking the trade with them. So when I see Hawaiians floating into Mexico and Southern California and Arizona, and then I'm seeing Samoans and Tongans, and they all coming in, and Big Mama called us to war. I know we don't move like that. We out of character. Because I know my people, I can watch the flow and I know where we going. And then I look at ground zero, Orlando. And then I go study the area and find out about the Gullah Wars. Only way we come into war from that far away, it's only one person that can call them. And at the time, the big mama that held that rank was Gullah Geechee. And she lived on an island off the coast, I think, of North Carolina. What they call the Gullah Islands. She lived on the island, and she seen them SOBs coming and called us to war, and they didn't have no telephones. Remember that. Ain't no telephone. It ain't none of this dash. It ain't no Morse code. It's spirit. It's spiritual mastery of the self and the understanding of the self. All of the big mamas is hive connected. They connected. They know. They all making their individual moves, but they checking in with each other while they doing it. And when the chiefs of the land, especially a war chief, sit back and look at history, he can say and tell you exactly what happened without knowing damn person name. I'm looking at the migration pattern. And they dumb enough to reprint it because they think we not gonna know how to read ourselves. That means you don't have no knowledge of self. And that's why people like Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, they was all fighting to give you self-knowledge and self-esteem enough to seek further self-knowledge that'll break you out of the trap of inferiority complexes manufactured by your enemy. And we didn't swear to be their enemy. They swore to be ours. We welcomed them in peace, but they came with war. We had open hands and theirs was full of dirt. And they wanted to land. How do we know they wanted to land, Brother Rich? What happened? How did they get Manhattan? What they say happened to give them Manhattan? You remember?
Oh, no. What happened?
They said it was a string of beads, right? Mm-hmm. And some other shells. Less than $1.25 worth of actual material, they sold Manhattan. That's BS because we don't sell land. That's how we know that they came for the land, because they was negotiating, trying to get the land. And Chief Pontiac told them, we don't believe in selling land. It's almost every big chief that you look up, tell them we don't believe in selling land. They even tell you about it in their parody movies of us. When they got the Mongolian or the Italian dude acting like he a Native American, asking the colonel, how did you get the land? Did you barter for it? Did you trade for it? I'm already free on this land. Well, all of a sudden I got to start paying you. Who are you? Where you come from? What's your credentials? They not us. They came for war and we handed it back. You know, war does not stay the same. If you don't know what warfare is, then you will never know what a police state is. And when you don't know what a police state is, you don't know what an occupied territory is, then you won't know why we went from common law to admiralty law. It wouldn't make sense. It's going to keep you in a perpetual loop of confusion.
Yeah, you was talking about a little earlier. Wow, Rod been hot. He's been hot this whole for 40 minutes straight, y'all. Damn, shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got about 2,700 people in the chat. Oh, man, what a show. What a show. We're talking about the land. We're talking about the soil. We're talking about who we are. We're talking about the lies, the deceit, the narcissism that took place. The shit. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot that the
Till they
brothers.
leave the sorcery out. Because that's how they find. That's how they finally got what's called a state, a ceasefire agreement. Them feds in the George Washington Memorial challenged the chief to a conjure war. That's why they on display. But you don't see none of the feathers on display. So who's being concealed in the conflict? Those Shriners, those 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons. They issued a conjure war to the chiefs of the land because they thought their masonry was better than our mastery, and they just had their ass handed to them. Because they found out that in the end, in order to close it out, they had to call the same chief we had to call because they can't close out without it. Because he gonna come and tell you it was a conjure war. It was 50 chiefs playing Phoenix Chief in the dark, right? And it was however many phases it is, that's how many of them it was. It's more of them than us, according to Noble Drew Ali. We the many, they the few. But they got great impact on dogma, and we are masters of the morals. We'll be morally correct as we need to be in order to outclass them MFs. It's up for them. They dismantling the corporation in real time as we speak. I done sick my watch doge on them. Everybody think they know what's happening. They don't know what's going on, Rich. They just think they know what's going on. It's over with. The game is over. We won. They lost. Pack your and go. It's over. So Andrew Jackson come in with this Trail of Tears family swap, where they kicked all of our family out in the South. So we had to be adopted in. The old Mississippians adopted in under the Chata, the Chickasaw, Cherokee, and all these other tribal names that they imposed upon us, right? But we still know who we is because the message is in the music for 100 years telling the same story. Strange fruit. Black hand. They don't give a about us.
Shit. Hey, Rod, I ain't gonna lie, man. Me and you, man, we've been going at it with these videos since about 2021 or 2022. I ain't never see you this emotional in a video, brother. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't never see this emotional.
Because it's to the point now, it's done. They lost. What is they still bitching about? Go on, take your ass to Gitmo, jump on the boat, then stop bitching. Stop crying. Stop trying to stop the process that you can't stop. You ain't Superman. You can't stop this speeding train. It's just not gonna happen. The games is up. It's over.
Yeah.
They should have never involved me if they wanted this to continue on, because I'm gonna tell it like it is, and they ain't gonna like it. And people feelings gonna get hurt because they thought we was Africans, and they African pride gonna be busting their native head. I'm not trying to agitate my people. I'm trying to get the imposters off the land. The same thing Tupac was doing, the same thing Eazy-E was doing, the same thing George Clinton was doing, the same thing that Smokey Robinson was doing, right? But we don't pay the artists no attention. That's why you can get more information through art than you can from history, from school. School is designed to mislead you. The artist is designed to tell you the raw and uncut truth, no matter how much you may not like it.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be good to dance to.
Mm-hmm.
The rappers been telling us what's going on in the community. The whole time. If you can look at it, we got rap broke up into sections, Rich, don't we?
Yeah.
We got old school rap. What did they talk about in old school rap, Rick? Rick?
We
Do you
talking about
remember?
the Public Enemy era? You talking about that era?
No, that's not old school rap. That's new school rap.
What would you call old school rap? What would you
Anything before 89,
so like
Run DMC, LL Cool J, Houdini,
right.
um, um, Smith and Wesson, Cool G. That era of rap, it was primarily about two things: dancing and getting your knowledge game up.
Right. Right.
It was about social awareness to your surroundings as part of your studies, and they was telling you what to study. Run DMC came out as the kings of rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they first came out on Hard Times. That's when they got national. How do Hard Times start? Hard Times spread just like the flu. Watch out, homeboy, don't let it get you. Prices go up, don't let your pockets go down. He's talking about inflation in the government. He's
Mm.
talking about the hard times Reaganomics is currently creating. He's talking about it in ghetto code. So when the prices go up, don't let your pockets go down. I mean, don't participate in all of the hype that they telling you. Keep getting your money because the inflation is the money going to lose value and you're going to need more of it, right? And then you had the dance community. Why did we tell them to dance? Because you can't be miserable and dance and stay miserable. You have to have an outlet for the misery, right? The aggressiveness, what we call breakdancing, dance offs, to burn that off so you can see clearly because you got to get past the anger in order to be able to strategize. Most of the average brother gets stuck at the anger and he don't know what to do with the anger and he end up doing some dumb shit. But they had break dancers come out, and not only is break dancing battle dancing, but it's also gymnastics. It's teaching you how to flip, right? So then when you learn how to flip, you could flip it off any one of them. It's called passing the baton, right? So then you can look back on history and say who passed the baton and where did they pass it to. It's the culture been telling me the whole story from day one. From day one. Then LL Cool J came out with his radio. What'd he say? My radio, believe me, I like it loud. I'm the man with the box that can rock the crowd. Walking down the street to the hardcore beat while my JVC vibrates the concrete. Why would he? What is he talking about? We naturally have an attraction like moths to the flame to loud music because we know where the party at. LL is telling us if you follow me through this party game, I'm gonna get you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's just trying to get you to the breakdancers at this time. But no matter what genre of music it is, they gotta always go back to the blues, the old Mississippi Delta blues. So he go back to the blues with when I'm alone in my room, sometimes my conscience call, right? I need love. That's blues in rap form.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got to go back down to Mississippi to get the code to know what to talk about next in order for us to put the puzzle together through the arts and entertainment, no matter what it is. They can't hide it. It's in the history, but it's in the history before the Rockefeller controlled education system. And you got to read books that's not recommended, preferably books that's banned. Because the banned books got more truth in it than the books that's approved.
Okay, Rod. Since you brought up dancing, you when you came on the scene, you kept talking about crip walking, and in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, just me and you at the time, And I'm like, damn, this brother's serious about the spirituality behind crip walking. You kept talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
When the Crips started walking, whatever, he kept talking about it. Fast forward 2025, Rod, the most watched Super Bowl of all time, the halftime show of all time. I think the Kendrick Lamar's video, I mean his performance is at over 70 million now. Crip walking all on the stage. Serena Williams up there crip walking. Because we are who we are, we're walking miniature universes. We have this power within us, and we dancing. What effect did that have on the planet? Us crip walking, the planet seeing crip walking showcase like that. We have a inferiority complex, so a lot of us don't see how powerful that is. But for those who know the spirituality of dancing, what did that do to the planet, Rod? Kendrick Lamar's performance in the crip walking.
The crip walk is walking lightning, Big Tookie. And when he have his whole army crip walking, you can look at the increase in the electromagnetic field around the earth by lightning strikes. Everywhere lightning strikes is because of crip walk. Right? Remember when they told you that they had rain dancers?
Yeah.
Yeah, rain dancing is hooper stepping. That's Midwest. That got nothing to do with the West Coast. The West Coast is the fire and the lightning, the Bloods and the Crips. The Crips, the sea walking, patron saint of the handicapped Big Tookie, and those who work with the metal, the Smith clans. Right? Then the energy that's being harnessed is literal electricity in the air. And the master Crip walker will set off a lightning storm in 10 different cities while not long after he starts stepping. This is the bee walkers is going to start sparking fires, but they normally come with the thunder behind the Crips. When they step, bee walk step, they bring the thunder. The Crips bring the lightning. They two of the biggest tribes on the West Coast woke up at the same time. Right? If you look at the original OG Pyru Blood, his name was Puddin. If you look at the original 5% Father God Allah, he was affectionately called Puddin. Right? You got two different things going on two different coasts. They telling you where the proof at. And the proof came up in Detroit. And the proof gave us the pale face dragon, the white dragon, the one that spit the fire, the God flow in the pink face. Because they said we couldn't do it. Right? So now when you go back to the history and you find out that Dr. Dre was actively looking for a pale face spitter because somebody told him to look for a pale face spitter. We need a white dragon. What we need a white dragon for? Because the proof is in the pudding. That means he not really pale face. He got a drop of blood. And he gonna be able to express himself to the tribes, and he gonna be able to cross the bridge from what they call mainstream and underground rap. He come out of the battle rap scene. This ain't no accident. Ain't nothing. Everything is on the script. Everything is on the script. So once you get the proof out the pudding, that was the end of the era of hip hop, what we call the rebellion hip hop, second wave, new generation hip hop. Started in the 90s, like 90, 91. Right? And this is when it was carried, the baton was carried by Chuck D through Public Enemy, who passed it to Ice Cube to take it back out west, because sooner or later we're gonna have to nip this in the bud. So we're gonna have to find this dude from Chicago coming off Kershaw, but we're gonna have to mirror him with somebody out west coming off Crenshaw. Because when you write them both in cursive, they look damn near the same. Mirror flipping. This is tribal warfare. The tribes fight their war. They challenge us to a conjure war. Curtis Jackson conjure, the unstoppable conjure. The March of the Mayors. Right? They don't even know what I'm talking about. Old New Orleans conjure man, Curtis Jackson. Money getter from day one. Gorilla knocker. So he got to come out on the Gorilla Clan.
You talking about 50 Cent?
G-Unit. I told you, you got to have a dog in every fight, and you got to know where your dog at in order to collect your motherfucking money. Every one of the chiefs had a job they was born to do, but they don't know what it is. But if they can be true to themselves, they can be seen. Mm. And they did their job because I seen them.
They could be authentic, huh?
Yeah. Authenticity. BDL just dropped the clip. Say authenticity is the highest frequency you can vibrate on earth.
Yo, somebody do the research. I want to know how much the Schumann resonance spiked during the Super Bowl. We got to really see the science.
You know what? That's a good idea, Rich. I didn't even check.
Yeah, we got to somebody do that research. Let me know, family. I'm gonna check.
It'll probably be within 3 days after.
Yeah.
You will see the spike. But the Schumann for the Crip Walk, you're not looking for Schumann. You're looking for, they got a Doppler lightning strike map. That's the one you need to look at, because then you can see the activity and where the energy hit at the hardest around the world. Oh. You see, they got Koreans and Vietnamese and Japanese doing reenactments. They got Africans doing reenactments of the Super Bowl. Kendrick.
Yeah.
You got hillbillies doing it. You got bikers doing it. You got old mechanics doing it. And they all putting out their TikToks imitating. Just go on TikTok and put in Super Bowl imitation or Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl imitation. You're going to show all the people doing that. It's around the world. It's not just local. Look, they say 115 million people signed off after the performance. And they said that because of that, people hated the performance so bad that they didn't want to watch the game. That's BS. They left for 2 reasons. In the first half, at the end of the first half, Donald J left. But they stayed 115 million, or it might have been 175 million. I can't remember. But it was over 100 and something million people. Still watched us all the way through to the end of the performance. And then when Kendrick got done, they was gone. And they end up with a second half viewing of about 65 million people. The average Super Bowl attendance, but they said that Kendrick ran everybody off with his performance. I think they came to see Kendrick.
Man, yeah, this is wow. This was one of them ones, y'all.
This is a cultural divide. You can't fake influence. We know our culture. If you from this land, you know when you see the New Orleans getting ready for Mardi Gras, you got 2 options. Start putting on some feathers or second line march steps, practicing. That's it. Or you got to leave. Then that's your other option. Or you got to leave. You can't be down there in their way while they trying to, they tell stories with their clothes, with their feathers. They're telling stories. They got history lessons for other